I love cooking steak. I think we always get excited about it. Everyone in the family loves it. And as much as I love steak and chips, and we always will, like, what more is there? What other vibes rock with that incredible piece of meat? I'm kind of going to North Africa, sort of Moorish flavours. This is a great little dish that I'm doing for me and Jules. A nice little sharing steak with couscous, beautiful tomatoes, artichokes, and I've got some flavours in there that are just gonna pop. So this is steak, but with a little bit of a difference. Now, we can start with the couscous. Me and my mob love this. I've seen lots of people get worried about it being sticky or overcooking it and it goes quite stodgy. Look, the simplest thing in the world is go in with the couscous, right? That's just like a little cup for two of us. A nice bunch of mint for this dish. Grab the stalks, twist it off, and that will infuse straight into the couscous. I've got some boiling water, and all I have to do is just cover the couscous. That is it. And then I put a lid on top, leave that for 12 to 15 minutes, and just let that plump up. It could not be simpler. Right, the steak. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. A nice sirloin steak. It's about an inch thick. Often when you go to the supermarket, they'll pre-portion steaks for you. If you want to get that really gorgeous and brown on the outside and blushing or medium on the inside, it's really hard. Go for one really thick steak for two people. It will taste much better. It'll be more tender because of the way that you cook it. I'm gonna season this quite generously with black pepper, so to create almost like a bark. Nice sea salt on top like that. Press it in. And then move this around. This will not only season it and flavour it, but also kind of protect it a little bit as well. Because we're gonna go straight onto the hot part of the barbie. That'll start sizzling and be beautiful. So let's flip the board. You could do this in a pan. I would start on the fat side for about 3 minutes. Let that fat go brown, golden and render, and then just put it over, let it fry, put it over, let it fry. So whether you do it inside or outside, it's all good. Look at that. Oh, the dancing fat is beautiful. It's gonna be heavenly, but there's more. Get a pan on. I quite like using pans on a barbecue. It means you can do extra little jobs. You can fry things off, you can dress things, you can even steam or boil if you want to. So there's more flavours that I'm taking from Morocco. Nice almonds. Just a little handful. By toasting them, you're gonna get more nuttiness. Now the almonds are basically a texture, a flavour. Okay, couscous going, steak on. To go with it, lovely sweet cherry tomatoes. So take your tomatoes and just half them. Keep an eye on that steak. I want to cook that medium rare. Jules likes it medium, so I'll go for that. But nice and blushing, nice and juicy. When the nuts here are nice and toasted, get that steak off. Look at that. Sizzling away. The resting juices will come out. At the same time, just a little bit of honey. And the honey will mix with the juices and create a gorgeous sauce. And then, those lovely almonds that we've toasted, sprinkle over the top. So let that rest away nicely, and then go in with the veggies. I want to use a maybe more unusual vegetable, artichokes. And this will be beautiful with the couscous and the tomatoes. And some people get freaked out by how to prep them and peel them and take the heart out. Look, if you get them in a jar, they're done for you. They're amazing. You can have them like that, raw, or we can cook them. Take some of the oil that comes with these lovely artichokes, put half a jar of the artichokes in the pan, and we'll start building up the most amazing flavour for the veggies. If you've never had artichokes before, they're absolutely delicious. There's one ingredient here that will completely transform this, preserved lemons. Now, you can get these in supermarkets, and they're an odd little ingredient, but these are small lemons that have the most incredible fragrance, and they're so delicious. If I cut it in half, can you see they're quite seedy? But don't judge these little fellas by their small size and their seediness, because the flavour is amazing. It's like an ultra lemon. Get rid of these seeds. Finely slice and then sprinkle that in with the artichokes. Now you can see the artichokes getting really nicely crisp, which is gorgeous. Look at that. Then the tomatoes. Sweet, fragrant. One final flourish with the veggies. If we go back to the beginning of the story where we used the mint stalks in the couscous, pick off all the mint leaves. That mint flavour is delicious. We love it with roast lamb. Maybe more unusual with the steak. But honey, mint, fragrant, funk with the lemon, really popping flavours and really popping colour as well. It's really fast and really beautiful. So, in with the mint, and that will just wilt down. Then let's have a look at our couscous. Got the mint stalks here. That can go. Lovely compost. Let's fork it up. And that's light and fresh. Look at that. Really, really nice. So, we are all ready to rock and roll. Let me just put it here for 1 second. Couscous, veg done, steak is rested nicely. Now, on this steak, there's this little bit of fat here and sinew, which is always tough and never a pleasure. Cut that off, and as soon as I've done that, then slice it up. Nice, blushing. That's how Jules likes it, medium. What's quite nice about when you do a medium steak is you can get the nice blushing bit on the inside for you, and then I can give the missus the well done bit on the outside, so she's happy. We've got all of these incredible juices here as well, look at that. And if I just pour that over the steak, that's pretty special. Really nice, sweet resting juices and the nuts. Let's plate it up now. Couscous, for us at home, is a really good staple. Jules is always using it for the kids at least once a week. Look at that. The colours of the tomatoes and the artichokes are amazing. And I'm going to put half of it on, like that, as a little bed for our steak, and lay that over the top. So we've got steak, we've got the nuts, we've got the veg on the bottom. You know, the juices will all go into each other. And look, the great thing about the couscous is it's soaking up all of those juices and flavours. And then the veggies. Look at that, full of colour, excitement, amazing flavours. I'm really looking forward to tucking into that. Let's have a little try. Come on. I don't want to ruin it. Let's get this little bit here. Get some couscous, some tomato, a little bit of the old mint there. The sweetness of the honey, the lemon's there. Of course, the steak is just gorgeous and tender. That just feels like a really vivacious, exciting, delicious meal. For me, this is the best time of day, like 6 o'clock, when the sun's thinking about going down. I'm cooking outside. I've got the barbie going. I could not be happier. In the last couple of months with family, I've cooked more for them than ever before, and it's sort of changed the way I'm cooking a little bit. I'm making ingredients go further and trying new things with them. Something humble like chicken legs, super economical, crispy skin, juicy meat, melt in your mouth. But it's really not about the chicken, it's about the cauliflower, right? And I've had quite a few of these over the last couple of months, and you can only do so much cauliflower cheese, which I love, by the way. And that kind of set me off. There's a French salad called a remoulade, which you'll kind of get in various countries, and they'll do it their own way. Traditionally using celeriac with mayonnaise. It's really creamy and gorgeous, but I'm gonna do it with cauliflower. And I'm gonna make the most delicious play on a remoulade, an incredible cauliflower salad. Actually, you can have it raw, really, really thinly sliced, and you can use the green bits, and it's super delicious with the chicken. Happy days. Some lovely baguette and some sweet onions. This is gonna be an amazing lunch or dinner. So look, let's get this going. I'm gonna get the chicken straight on the barbecue. I've put the coals to one side, so I have a hot, medium, and cool end. I'll go skin side down, completely naked, right? No marinade, no salt, no oil, right? We're gonna use the heat to start rendering the skin on the outside. At the same time, get some onion Go in half like that, and then in half like that. Put that straight on as well. Normally I would cook this in an oven. It's super easy. You just put the chicken in a snug fitting roasting tray, put it on the hob, get the skin going, then put the onions in, twiddle it about, put it in the oven for about 35 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. It's delicious, but this is going to be another level because we've got the smoke. To get some incredible flavour happening with the chicken, some nice vinegar, 3 or 4 tablespoons in there, and a little bit of olive oil, seasoned with pepper. Use some herbs, right? Some rosemary, thyme as a brush. And pretty much you'll use all of that. As the skin's getting gnarly and golden and sizzling, just give it a kiss. And the vinegar will evaporate and just leave you with this really delicious outer skin. We got a sizzle on. I'll bring it down medium and slow, as that chicken's gonna need like 40 minutes until the meat comes off the bone. So as that cooks, let's talk about the remoulade. The remoulade, tried to say it there in a French accent, classic French salad. They would julienne, or finely strip celeriac, which is a fantastic vegetable again. And they'd have it with mayonnaise and capers and cornichons and beautiful mustard. I'm being inspired by that, and I'm gonna do my version with thinly cut cauliflower. It's really fresh and sweet and delicious. So we're gonna hero it. I'm gonna go lighter, fresher. So I'm gonna use yogurt instead of mayonnaise. Get good organic yogurt, way, way more nutritious, and of course about 80% less fat than mayonnaise. And I think that's more flavorful. You've got that acidity, that freshness, which is really, really beautiful. A little swig of good olive oil, like that. We can kind of like bounce off those classic flavors of the cornichon. You know, if you go to the supermarket and get these little jars, you've got the cornichon there, you've got the little silver tin onions. You don't want to be peeling little button onions like that. You've got more important things to do, right? Those pickles are so good in this salad. I'm simply gonna finely slice the onions and the cornichons to make a little dressing that's got attack. You know, the acidity of these pickles will work really well with the lovely richness of the chicken. That goes in to our yogurt, followed by a nice hefty teaspoon of beautiful mustard as well. A tiny pinch of salt, not much, and then a little tablespoon of the liquor from here. This liquor is delicious. That is a simple, much healthier dressing, but full of flavour. Mix it up. Let's crack on with the salad. We want to take this beautiful, frumpy old veg and make it delicate and elegant. So first of all, let's take the green leaves off and just have a little look. Often these go in the bin, right? But if they're fresh and if they're in good nick, they're going in, right? There's nothing wrong with this at all. Super nutritious and delicious as well. So we'll put that in a pile, line it up, and just finely slice this. Go in with the lovely greens here. Break it down into those little florets that you would normally use, and we'll just literally finely slice it. Go as fine as you can, and what you'll start to do is get these lovely little slithers here, lovely little cross sections of cauliflower, super beautiful. And now you've turned it from a vegetable to a salad vegetable. And when that hits that beautiful dressing with the crunch and the pickle and the tang, it's gonna be joyful. And so you've got that lovely, gorgeous, kind of slurry white veg that's fresh. It will be good with roasted fish, you know, really nice as a salad amongst a little buffet. Something different. You know, none of these ingredients are hard to get. Standard stuff, pickles, mustard, cauliflower. Now we've got a beautiful salad. So that's done. Now back to the chicken. Give it its last little baste. And we're going from direct grilling, I'll just leave the time in there now, to turning it into an oven by putting the lid on top, right? You're trapping that smoke. It's gonna be really flavorful. Let's let that have about 20 minutes cooking, and then I'll check it and show you what to do next. Look at that. So on with some nice little croutons. The chicken here, yeah, that's looking good. It's juicy. So that's pretty much there. And you've got all the lovely flavour of the smoke. You know, it's been basted with the vinegar and the seasoning. I'm gonna get myself a couple of plates. One for me, one for Jules. Take some of this beautiful cauliflower salad, remoulade, version of a remoulade. Look at that. And actually, this gets better when you leave it just for like 10 or 15 minutes. Once you can pinch that chicken and the meat comes off the bone, you know you're in a good place. I might just put it on its skin side for that one last moment, just to get the skin going mad. That's what I want. That resting on that. So let's take the first chicken and just place that straight onto there. Gorgeous. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. That's what it's all about. The contrast of like gnarly, perfectly cooked, seasoned up, fatty, with the fresh and the delicate. And then, oh, don't forget the croutons. I was not concentrating. I was lost in the world of all things beautiful. Gather up my onions, give it a little season up like that, and it's just the most beautiful, sweet, soft onion rings. That one's got a stalk on it, so that's my fault. And again, another little kiss of vinegar. And this on our croutons. The fresh salad and the gnarly chicken. What a combo. So look, this one's for Jules, because it's a bit prettier. This one is for me. Let's have a little try before I go and surprise her. So just take some of that lovely chicken. It will just pull off the bone. I love it. Crunchy, fresh, and then a little bit of that crispy chicken skin. Look at that. With the sweet onions. Simple ingredients, but put together with a little bit of style, bit of imagination. A really nice little twist on your humble cauliflower. Something a little bit different that I know my missus is gonna love. Don't tell her about the washing up. So look, I wanna do a delicious, quick, healthy, colourful lunch for me and Jules, and I wanna reflect a bit of optimism in the food. Colour, excitement, textures. So I'm gonna do a kind of made-up dish that I've been fantasising about, beautiful salmon tacos. You know, that little flatbread, flaky salmon, salsa, that's what I'm after. It starts with the salmon. We will go in with salt, give it a nice little season up with salt and pepper. And then I really get excited about the idea of spice combinations, allowing the everyday to go somewhere exciting or another part of the world. So this is a Cajun rub, right? It's a blend of spices, things like paprika, oregano, thyme, a little chili, you know, they smell amazing. So look, I'm gonna sprinkle this on the salmon and be very, very generous. So really make a little job of just rolling that salmon and packing that spice around it. And once you kind of really compact it around the salmon, boring, this will no longer be. So let that just sit and kind of take in that flavor. Let me just wash my hands. Okay. Salsa. Texture, vibrance, excitement, sweetness, sourness, attack. That, for me, is what a salsa is about. You can spend all day doing all kinds of things, and it might be the salsa that takes you 3 minutes that makes that rock. So, let's do this. I've given these a nice little wash. All I'm gonna do is quite delicate preparation. So, cherry tomatoes, half it and quarter it. It's quite nice to use a variation. And honestly, a good salsa in your life and a little bit of just focus and attention, it's super easy. Then I'll go in with spring onions, and again, thinking delicate. Do you know what? I could not genuinely be happier than being outside, just cooking, listening to that lot. I love it. With the green part of the spring onions, we'll go as fine as we can again. Different flavours will come through. And then here, just take 4 or 3 little bits of basil, right? And then I just roll it up. Could be mint, it could be parsley, it could be coriander, whatever you choose. And look here, purple basil. And then look where it's gone into flour. It's very beautiful. I'll take that. And these are amazing in a salsa. And then avocado. You know, God, my family love these. Try and get a spoon that mirrors the size or shape of the avocado. Put your spoon in between the skin and the flesh and just ease it in and kind of hold the spoon against the skin, and you'll find it just cups it out so beautifully and you get that amazing little lobe. Avocado can discolour and oxidise, so a good little trick is to get some acid, lemon, lime, orange, give it a little roll, and then I'll save half for serving my taco, and then I can just squeeze a little bit of juice on this, and it kind of seasons the avocado in a lovely way, but also protects it. It will stay really fresh and green. Little delicate, thin slices. I will add a little chilli. I don't want it to be hot, but I like the freshness that a chilli gives you. Already, it looks like an amazing summery rainbow. Painter's palette. Then fruit. I'm using a mango. It's got to be a ripe one, right? If you can't get that, pineapple. If you can't get that, grapes, blueberries, strawberries, anything delicious, sweet and sour. You've got the little stem here. So the lobe goes this side. So I'm just going to put my knife in. I'll hit the stone, and then I'm just angling my knife around it and then just move the mango around, edging off that stone. There's the stone there, you see. I only need half. Take this mango into about 4, and then it's really easy to get my knife under the skin. And once you've got it under the skin, you just literally bend the mango down and rub the knife against the skin, right? It's so colourful, even the bees are floating around. Okay, so now I've sliced up all that beautiful salsa stuff. All I'm gonna give it is a nice seasoning of salt and then a good squeeze of lime juice, and that will be an amazing little salsa. So what I'm gonna do is put my salmon on and get these going. I'll go skin side down. By going skin side down, it's kind of protecting the fish. It's gonna go crispy. I want the salmon to be kind of coloured, but kind of blushing on the inside and flaking just beautifully. When I did this recipe first time round, I did it indoors on a non-stick pan on a medium-high heat for about 3 minutes on both sides. It's gonna be so nice. Let me just wash my hands. Next up, let's do the flatbreads as I'm cooking the salmon. It's super, super simple. So you want 4 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour. So for every little taco, 1 tablespoon. And then 4 tablespoons of water go in, and that should make you perfect tacos. I want a little bit of salt in there just for seasoning, and a little kiss of oil. Super simple. So many of us buy tortillas from the supermarket, and you can just make your own so fast. It's like a 40-second recipe. So move it around. As the bowl starts to be cleaned, we can get it out, and then I can just give it a little knead on a board. Once you've given it a nice little knead up, just divide that into 4. Take one of those balls. I've got a little flour here just to dust, and we'll just dust away and roll these out thin. They take no time at all. So if I look at the salmon, it's probably ready for a turn now. The skin is looking amazing. Wow. So look, once you've rolled your tortillas out, grab like any plate, dish, saucer, little bowl, and you can cut around it. We can settle for rustic and a little bit wonky, or make it a little bit more perfect. I love both. I love rough and ready, and then perfect just makes me feel like you've cared a little bit. Okay, so let's have a look at what we got here. Salmon is doing very, very well. And what I can do, which I love to do, is just grab one side and pull that skin off. Look at that. And it's highly likely that this bit could be the best bit of the whole meal. Crackling, crispy, spicy. So I'll lay that onto the bars and that will render out, and then put this salmon back on that peeled side. Can you see that skin sizzling? Look at that. Oh, the flavour, the texture. My kids fight for it. Like even River, he's 3.5 and he knows. He's like, give me the skin. Give me the skin. No, seriously, like, he'll take mine. But what's really interesting, it's still malleable and still sort of quite soft. But the minute it starts to cool down, it goes crispy. So if I take like a rolling pin like this, and I took this skin and just put it over like that, you can kind of get these crazy waves and shapes. Look at that, getting crispy and gnarly. Beautiful. And I can tell that the salmon is cooked gorgeously. If I just apply a little bit of pressure, it just flakes beautifully. Look at that. That in the taco is going to be amazing. So, this to one side. Let's get these tortillas cooking. And look, they're great on a barbecue, but they're equally fantastic in a non-stick pan on full whack inside, right? That's how I normally do them. Look how cool they look. Look as the heat makes them puff up. Little bit of colour on one side and hardly any colour on the other side. So easy to make. Amazing. So as soon as these come down, they're a little bit crispy. So if you put a little tea towel on top, that will make them steam a little bit, make them more pliable and keep them warm. Okay, let's make a lovely couple of tacos. Optional, sour cream, a tiny bit of yogurt. Then I'm gonna take our salmon and I just wanna kind of flake it. Then salsa, and I like to mix it at the table so it's fresh. Look at the colour. Optimism, excitement. So let's embellish now. Look at that, fresh flavours. That ain't boring. And the little bit of juice, the juice that runs off of the salsa is so good. And then you've got those crispy bits of salmon skin, and I just like to smash it up to give you that crunch. A few bits of basil, and there you go. The only thing I might do is take a little bit of chili oil. So let's have a try. As I bend it up, look how even more appealing that gets. A little taco of juicy goodness. Oh, it's dripping. Let's have a little go. Oh, wow. There is a dance going on in my mouth, texturally, flavour-wise. The salmon just holds the whole thing together. You got that punch of the Cajun spice that just kind of gets you every now and again. And then there's all the brightness, the rainbow. It's just so good. Wow. Can we do something different? How can we tweak the everyday to make it sublime and exciting? I've been playing around with sweet potatoes. I love them. Super nutritious vegetable, and you can do so many things with it. And I'm gonna do two things with it. I'm gonna slice it up and grill it on the barbecue. It's gonna be caramelized, it's gonna be sweet and unctuous. It's gonna be so good with this patty. And that little bit at the end, I'm gonna finally grate it with the cabbage and make an amazing coleslaw. And you can actually eat sweet potato raw. It's delicious. So, my friends, let's just do it. Me and Buds are gonna have this. It's gonna be a joy, and it's gonna be super fast. First of all, I'm gonna finely slice it about 1/2 centimetre thick into little slices, and we're gonna grill that. And by the way, whether you wanna grill it on a barbecue or do it in a dry pan, a frying pan, it's fine, right? It works inside and out, so it's a really flexible recipe. So I'm just gonna lay these on the barbecue. When you barbecue sweet potato, it goes so nutty and delicious. So that's a nice start. Then with this half of the sweet potato, what we can do is get a standard old box grater and turn this into a slaw. So we all know the standard slaw, right? White cabbage, onion, and carrot. But this time we're gonna use sweet potato, which is really, really tasty. Then I'll go to the coarse side here and just grate about 1/4 of a white cabbage. And then we're gonna dress that, not with mayonnaise, but actually with vinegar and olive oil. But of course, if you want mayonnaise, you can do what you like. This is also an opportunity to get any crunchy vegetable in there, beetroots, radishes, whatever takes your fancy. So what we need is some salt and pepper, a nice little teaspoon of whole grain mustard, and then a swig of nice white or red wine vinegar, and some olive oil. Easy peasy. If you want to lace that with some chopped up mint, parsley, basil, it'll be absolutely delicious. Mix it up really well. Have a little taste. Really fresh, crunchy, and it's got that nice zing. And that's got the kind of pickle vibe going on. So let me wash my hands. If you have a look at those sweet potato there, they're just grilling nicely. When they're charred like that, that is really good news. One of the things I love to do is just dry grill on a barbecue. Any veg actually, fennel, courgettes, peppers, but especially sweet potatoes. You can see how, you know, even with no oil on it, it's not sticking, it's just charring and singeing, and the natural sugars are developing, and you're gonna get the most amazing flavor that way. If you start putting oil on this now, it'll be flaming, it'll be burning, and it won't be nice. I'll keep an eye on that. Now let's get on the burgers. So it's good quality minced beef. Of course, you can use different meats. Just take your mince and just work it on a plate like that. Now this is very, very important. Do it, of course, with clean hands. You'll sort of develop the protein so it really sticks together nicely. A lot of people buy pre-made burgers, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it at all, very convenient. If you get your own mincemeat, you know much more about what's in it. And if you work it like this, you're going to be able to form an incredible patty burger. Divide it into 2 equal-sized patties, about 120 grams each. Push it out to a little bit bigger than the size of your bun, because it's going to shrink a little bit, about 1.5 centimeters thick. You can see it's not perfect. Rough and ready, a bit broken around the edges, it's fine. It's all good. And they're just going to cook so quickly and be a joy to eat. So rub it with olive oil. We'll season it with salt and pepper. We're going to kind of treat this, you know, almost like a steak. We're going to season on the outside only, and we'll get that straight on the barbecue. So about 3 minutes on each side until golden and delicious. So look, let me just get rid of that. Have a little clean down. Okay, so burgers cooking. A nice little tip that's always good to have on the barbecue is control, right? By having most of the coals at one side, almost like a kind of hill, I'm able to kind of rotate meats or veggies from high, medium to low. And these lovely sweet potatoes now, they're sitting on the low side. They're actually done. And look at these. Super nutty and charred, soft, all caramelizing around the edge. And these little kind of blistered black bits here, that's all smokiness and char. It's gonna be amazing. Kiss it with a little olive oil and a little seasoning, and that makes all the difference. You can see how shiny they are now, and they're nice and bendy. You can squeeze them a little bit. They're gonna be really, really tasty. I'm gonna turn the burgers now. Look at that, nice color. Beautiful. Okay, a couple of lettuce leaves to make a lovely little burger. If you want to dress that with some, you know, a little swig of vinegar or some lemon juice, you can, no trouble at all. I've got some nice little brioche buns. They're super cool. I'm gonna pretty much be there any minute now, my little boy buds. Hope you're hungry, mate. So this is me and Buddy's dinner tonight, and it's just us two. The girls are out. You excited for a burger, my friend?
Yeah.
So this is sweet potatoes. Got some coleslaw. Do you know what that is?
No.
That's cottage cheese. Have you ever had that? Right, you're gonna find out today. That is still juicy. Look at that, buds. You can see the juices coming out of it. And what I want to do now for the last couple of minutes is get some barbecue sauce in there, glaze it so it's really shiny and sticky and gorgeous. Buzz, do you just want to brush that gently over the top, right around the edge as well? So look, the thing here is these ingredients are all really standard, right? You know, we've taken the mince, we made our patties, barbecue sauce, nothing really new there. But I think the way we're putting it together, the layers of flavour, you know, charring up the sweet potato like that and using it in the slaw, pretty cool.
Mini chopping boards.
They're little ones. You can eat off that, actually. So because Mum's here, we don't have to sit at a table, we don't have to use knife and fork.
You were the one that told me I had to use knife and fork.
Yeah, but not today, because we're eating a burger. Look at that, they're ready. So let's make your one, buddy. Let's do it. We'll take a little bit of slaw. Sweet potatoes.
I like slaw.
You like slaw? Good man. Right, should we serve up your burger?
Yeah.
Over we go. I'm going to slip a little bit of lettuce in there.
Very big burger.
Nice little load of cottage cheese there. Then your bun. That, my friend. Do you think that can get in your mouth? That's quite big.
If I squeeze it.
Go on then, have a go. Do you want me to cut it in half for you?
No, that'd
Oh.
be cheating.
That wouldn't be cheating. How's something that's so big going to get in such a cute little mouth? The squeeze, the squeeze. Oh, you know it's good. Right, go on then, attack.
I can't. It won't fit.
We could share that
But we're
and have
not
the
going
second
to.
one. Come, let's share it. Let's have half each, and then we can have the next. Look, can you see how juicy that burger is? If I squeeze it.
Oh, my own juice fell out.
Let's go.
Mmm.
That is very good. That's the joy of eating outside, isn't it? You can make a mess.
It's hot, but it's delicious.
You
Very
like that?
messy. Yeah. So nice.
You reckon that could be a new family favourite?
Oh, definitely.
Sweet potatoes with burgers is amazing. Mmm. So juicy. Look at the mess. It's just brilliant.
Woo! I really like the barbecue sauce with it.
Yeah. Sweet potatoes. You happy? Hallelujah, the sun is out, the barbecue is on. It's that time of year. Come on, let's cook some beautiful food. So we're gonna do surf and turf, meat and fish. We're gonna do the perfect steak, a big chunk of steak, sirloin there. We're gonna do butterfly prawns. We're gonna marinate them, make them delicious. I've lit the barbecue about an hour ago. Let it calm down. I wanna help you to take the fear out of barbecuing. Really hold your hand to cook the most amazing prawns. Fresh or frozen is cool, just let them defrost if they're frozen. First of all, I like to keep the head and the tail on. With the head, there's loads of juices and flavour in there. This middle part, you can see I'm just simply removing that inner part of the shell. And then the tail I like to leave on as well because you can kind of use it to handhold and put it in your mouth. And then in the middle part here, that's the beautiful prawn. I'm going to take my knife and carefully run the blade down the back of the prawn. And once you've done that, you can see it kind of opens up this little cavity, and then the tip of the knife, you can just pull out that little vein and we can get rid of that. So let's do the rest of these. Caring, preparing something that's going to surprise your guests. That's what it's all about. So last one, and then we'll start the marinade. I want to kind of give you a little bit of a curveball because I am very proud of a product that I've been working on. If you go to Tesco, you'll see that I've done my own curry paste, right? There's a lovely little range there. So let me wash my hands. And on this particular prawn dish, I'm going to use the Sirloin paste. About 2 teaspoons of that paste you can put in here. A little bit of olive oil. I'm going to put some lime in there, cut it in half and squeeze this on top. This paste, there's just a whole bunch of stuff in there. Turmeric, ginger, chili, curry leaf, fenugreek, coconut. It's really light and layered. So that is the marinade ready and raring to go. Get the prawns in there and toss it all up. Look at that. You know that is going to taste really, really good. So let that marinade for like half an hour. But that is a beautiful job done. Let's talk about the steak. Okay, instead of buying single steaks that are thin and piddly and you're probably gonna overcook, right? Go for a much bigger double or quadruple steak. Look for marbling, the little white flecks in the eye meat here. Look for, maybe dry aging. You can talk to them about that. Sort of 28 to 36 days is really, really good. We want a nice bit of fat here. So let me show you a little preparation. First with this fat, what I wanna do is just get my knife and lightly score through the fat. So this is going to help it render and you're going to get better crispy bits. Once you've done that, we can kiss it with a little olive oil, plenty of black pepper, and then a nice seasoning of salt. And you want to season it at the last minute when you're going to cook it. I'm going to put this now onto the barbecue because this is going to take longer to cook than this. I've got a hot side and a cooler side. So I'm going to start it off on the cooler side with the fat facing down, just to start rendering that fat. The coals have cooked down nicely. You've got a hot side, a cool side, so you've got a little bit of control while you get on with other things. Let's have a little look at the beef. So it's just nicely cooking, right? And you see it's rendering really nicely. If I move this more over here, then the fat will go on to the actual coals. And so look, I'm just upping the temperature now on this hotter side. So I'm just gonna turn that steak now. Let's have a little look. Look at that. And I'll cook it for about 1.5 minutes on each side, turning evenly. So it's nice and evenly cooked. About 3 minutes on each side, I think will give me about medium rare. What I wanna do now is take it off the grill. Look at that. So look, the steak is resting, right? So now is the time to put the prawns on. They only take about 4 minutes, right? Depending on their size. So here we go. I'm gonna put the prawns at the slightly less hot end and the heads at the hotter end. They're gonna open out and butterfly. The smell is absolutely phenomenal. Look, this is at about 2 minutes. Let's get in there. Can you see how the prawns have opened up? Look at that, come on. Okay, so let's get ourselves a nice little board here. Just simply slice this at an angle like that. Look at that, beautiful steak. And these prawns can literally come off the grill onto here. You can hear the sizzle. That's a pretty awesome sight. And you know what? I just love a couple of nice little flatbreads, naans, whatever you fancy. Right, heat those up, they'll take no time at all, but what a joy. So, let's have a little try. Let's go for a prawn. Look how succulent that is, come on. Oh, that is absolutely delicious. So there you go, guys. That's my surf and turf. Made by me with a little bit of help from some beautiful Jamie Oliver spice pastes.
Hi, I'm Buddy, and today I'm going to make some burgers on the barbecue. Now we're going to take some mince and shape our burgers. It's good quality beef mince. I'm just shaping the burgers into the right size, mushing the meat down so it all sticks together. I'm making some small ones for River and Petal. Do you think people ask which one's older, Petal or me? They probably thought Petal was older, and she is. I'm just mumbling. Petal and River will probably just like cheese and maybe lettuce or that sort of stuff. But I like pickles, as you can see here, pickles, cheese, stuff. I like pickles, my favourite. That's what it should look like. Now we're going to wash our hands. So here we've got some red cabbage, got some cheddar cheese, some lettuce and cucumber chopped up, and we've got some pickles. And we're going to cut them with our crinkle cutter. The good thing about crinkle cutters is that they're not that sharp, but you should always have an adult around. Just do one more. There we go. And we can just pop these over here for later when we do our toppings. We've also got some buns. So they've been sliced in half and we're going to toast them later. There we go. So I've washed my hands and now I'm going to have a little tidy up. You can just take these knives away, put them over here. Now we're ready to cook the burgers. Now we're going to barbecue our burgers. Make sure there's always an adult around. I like the sizzle. Always work from the cold side to the hot side and try not to put them all on the hot side at one time. So those are our burgers. Just going to put this down and we're going to watch them. Because we're going to flip it, we're going to use this. Make sure it has a long handle. Now I'm going to move the ones that are on the cold side to the hot side. Oh, they smell quite good. They smell like a barbecue. Hi, camera. I'm waiting for the burgers to cook and I'm carving a stick. I have no idea why, but it's kind of fun. I've just flipped my burgers and now I'm going to add some cheese. I'm going to add one on each burger. I'm going to shut the barbecue so the cheese melts, but if you're using a pan, you can always put a lid on top. The cheese is melting, so I'm going to put my buns in there just for a quick toast. I'm going to put them on the cold side. I'm going to leave the buns in there for about another 30 seconds. Now I'm going to take the buns off the heat. I'm going to get a plate and put the bun there. Charmander, I choose you. And now we're just going to put the toppings on my one. So we're going to put some of this red cabbage on the side. Turn that around. And then gonna get some of these gherkins, pickles, whatever you want to call them, and just put them around here. There we go. Gonna get some cucumber and lettuce. I think we should put that. Yeah. Put some on the side, put it on top. Some ketchup here. And I can put some on the side so I can dip my burger in. This is what I'm gonna add, but you can add whatever you like on yours. Put the burger on top. And now, my favourite part. You get to eat it. So there you go, guys. That's my burger. Hope you guys give it a go. You can add any toppings you like. Hope you enjoy. Send in your videos to the hashtag here, and we'll check them. Bye! Okay, guys. Thank you for sending your videos to hashtag chicken videos. Thank you.
Hi guys, okay, so we're gonna do a really simple but delicious lamb kebab. It's a really lovely ritual to make a kebab. You can marinate it the day before, but I wanna show you the ones that I like to do, which is when you go for a walk in the park, or if you grow it yourself, get a rosemary skewer, right? And what you have here is a fantastic natural skewer. And what I want you to do is get a knife and at a slight angle, like that, and happy days. Okay, so let's start with the marinade, guys. This is gonna tenderize the meat. It's also gonna flavor it. Let's start with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. The juice of 1 lemon goes in. I like to season it with a little salt and pepper. Herbs like bay leaf is really, really nice. I just remove the little stalk like this, and then these leaves, you pound those up, they're gonna be amazing. I'm gonna put the rosemary in as well, because we've got the skewers. I wanna use a little bit of salt in there so it's nice and abrasive, and we're gonna smash that up to pretty much a pulp. So nice, the smell is fantastic. You have to have a pestle and mortar because this is what flavour is all about, and it's literally the oldest kitchen gadget on the planet, and you don't have to plug it in. A couple of cloves of garlic, so just lightly crush those, and then that will start going a little bit more soggy. So that's what it's all about. That will absolutely make all the difference and transform this beautiful marinade. We'll mix this up. I'm going to put in some amazing spring lamb, which is tender and delicious. They're cut into inch chunks. This is enough for sort of 4 to 6 nice sized kebabs. And at the same time, I want to add some veggies. So I love, just having some nice red onions, cut them into quarters. And what will happen naturally, they just break off into little petals. You can have any coloured peppers that you want. The lamb's 1 inch, then I'll go about 1 inch on the peppers. And then it's going to sit beautifully on the skewer. Got my little chilli here, just going to remove the seeds, the hot part, and I'll just cut that into 2. So some lucky person will get that. The one thing I forgot as well, which is from the garden, which is really, really nice, is oregano. When it flowers, cut it, tighten a knot, hang it up near a radiator or a window, and you get this fantastic dried oregano. We're going to give this a nice little massage up. So once you've mixed that up, guys, I would love to marinate that overnight. Oh, it makes all the difference. I'm not going to do it today, right? And it still tastes delicious, but overnight makes all the difference. Please do it. So let's load up our wonderful little kebabs and mix it up. So meat, onion. I don't want to tightly pack it too much. I want the meat and the veggies to have access to equal heat and temperature. So let's just load these up. Just a lovely, simple kebab. Of course, you can make it with chicken, pork, beef, different veggies. Getting that on a plate is a beautiful thing. So look, I want something to put my kebab in, and I want to do this lovely little flatbread. For the dough recipe, click the I. So here's the very simple dough, and just cut it up into 4. So we got our kebabs, we got our lovely little flatbreads. So we have our regular barbecue here, and then I want to mix it up because I'm going to use just a regular metal bowl. Put that onto the barbecue. That'll get roasting hot very quickly. And then what I want to do is just roll this out. You can roll them out sort of like 1 centimetre thick. So because that metal bowl is quite thin, it doesn't take much time to heat up at all. And we're just going to lay that straight over like that. We're going to put our wonderful kebabs on. So they'll go straight on to the barbecue, and we'll really take care of those and love them. So look, let's have a little look at the bread. You don't want to kind of rush it. but it should just crack off. Look at that. It's like a little bowl of heaven. So you can see how quick that was to cook. I've just given it a little bit of heat on the other side. Use rosemary's also, not just for skewers, but use it as a brush. And does it make a difference? It absolutely does make a difference. It really does. Look at that, guys. It's beautiful. And then, of course, you can put in some salads. And then I like the red cabbage. It just feels so vivid and exciting. Some mint leaves are just little fragrant little surprises. So the yogurt there, just laced with mint. So good. Delicious. We wistfully remove the skewer, leaving you with the wonderful bowl of goodness that you can just roll up and squeeze, and then put in your mouth and enjoy. Absolutely delicious.
We all love a burger, and this time I reckon I've cracked the ultimate one. My friend Christian is an expert in all things barbecue, so he's come to help me cook it and eat it.
First up, go to your butcher's and ask him for chuck steak. It's got incredible flavour.
It's the classic meat for a classic burger.
Divide it into 4. So that's 800 grams here, that's 200 gram patties. You want to make your patties just a bit bigger than the bun because you will get some shrinkage.
I'm making 2 pickles with a few crinkle cut gherkins and a little bit of chilli, plus a second with finely sliced red onion, white wine vinegar and a pinch of salt.
I'm going to do a bit of a J Sal's.
Okay.
2 heaped tablespoons of mayo, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, important, a little swig or 2, Tabasco,
Oh, I love this
the
stuff.
Chipotle rocks, and then a little tinkle of bourbon, okay? And just a tiny dribble of your onion vinegar, iceberg. When it kind of gets dressed in that, it's kind of like half soft, half crunchy.
I'm nicking this, dude. This is a really good recipe.
You happy about this?
Yeah, really good. Let's get grilling.
Pat the burgers with oil, then season with salt and pepper.
You can see already like the fat starting to cinder off, hit the coals, and that's sort of pelting smoke back up and kissing the meat. This is what barbecue's all about.
Yeah, it is.
Whether it's charcoal or wood. Go and get the American style mustard, and we go get a paintbrush, sear one side of the burger, and then we turn it. And then that seared side, we brush, and then we sear the mustard seared side, and then we brush the other side. So we do 2 normal cooks, and then 2 mustard cooks. This is gonna create a lovely, kind of hummy, gorgeous mustard bark. It's smoked bacon. When the fat's doing that, and you just know you're caramelizing and creating flavor. Cheese, 2 nice slices. I'm using red Leicester.
I dubbed thee King of the Grill.
Use any cheese you fancy, as long as it's a good tasty melter.
And now,
Oh, it's like a,
we put the dome over.
yeah.
Okay, so that's turning into an oven. And it's just gonna let that cheese melt, just sag.
It's already starting to do its magic,
See
man.
it starting to do its magic, and I'm just gonna pop the bacon on top. In that pan is amazing smoky bacon fat.
You're not going there with the
I am.
rolls, are you?
I am. This is a brioche bun to sort of suck up all the juices that rest out of the burger.
Now for that special moment, the build.
Bacon just sends it off. Oh, wow.
It's so good. It's all right to eat messy, yeah?
You're supposed to eat messy.
You don't want to have a polite burger.
No.
That's boring.
What are you, a wuss?
Word up, food tubers. So here I am on a beautiful hot summer's day. We have a fire down here, and I'm gonna do a gorgeous dish. It's like my big fat Greek-Italian wedding on a plate. Barbecued lamb with fantastic sweet and sour roast vegetables. You're gonna love it. Go to your butcher's, ask for the longest lamb chops you can get, as long as possible until they get to that little ball joint here. I'm doing a little rub for my lamb. Chilies there, coriander seeds. We're gonna go in heavy on the black pepper, heavy on the Maldon sea salt, flowering oregano, new growth bay, and I'm just gonna pound the hell out of it. We're gonna just sprinkle this over, rub it all in. I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil there. Now, come on, brothers and sisters, look at that. That is a lamb chop. I'm gonna throw that on the grill right now. You can use charcoal if you want. I tend these days just to light a wood fire. We're cooking it through, we're making it gnarly. The fat's dripping away. It's kind of getting smoked as well. It all looks very good. Can you see all that fat sizzling on there? So, over to the wood oven. What I want to show you guys is simple roasted carrots with some onions. Cook it at about 200 degrees Celsius with the tin foil over it until soft. Got smoke in my face. Excuse the tears. Look at our lovely crew here. I'm going to add loads of bay leaves. I am going to hit it up with some honey. This is where a kind of Greek element starts to sit in. And some orange. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And some vinegar. I want you to put 4 tablespoons in. A nice big handful of pistachios, okay? This is kind of a little homage to our Greek brothers and sisters. And we're going to roast this up until all the carrots and onions are gorgeous and roasted. This goes back in the oven. Come on, this is what we're talking about. I'm really pleased with what we've done here now, guys. The biggest kind of lesson to be learned about barbecuing is just care with a cut of meat. Is it a fast cooking cut or is it a slow cooking cut of meat? This is actually both. You've got the eye meat here, which is an equivalent of a sirloin, and then this part here next to the bone, which is the equivalent of, like, you know, pork belly. Pork belly takes hours to cook, sirloins take minutes to cook. So what I'm doing is I'm controlling the temperature. Now, you've got just a few disparate sort of bits of charcoal here, so I don't overcook the eye meat. And then at the other side, it's just piled up higher. And of course, I can just move it around and control that. If you love barbecue, catch up with my mate, DJ Barbecue Shimon. You are gonna love him. Another little tip here as well. If you've got a pork chop or a lamb chop, obviously we wanna get that fat kind of rendering and kind of cooking away. So just see how I've just racked them up here so it's fat facing down, okay? And then what you do is you just then toss it the other way. Oh, that rub is gorgeous. See that fat dancing there? That's what we want. We want to carry on cooking this now. There's one last part of this meal that I want to bring to the fray, and that's bulgur wheat here. It's just been boiled, lemon and olive oil, a little pinch of salt and pepper. It's very simple. I've trashed the tin, but look at that. You can hear it, it's gorgeous, glazed, sweet, sticky. It's gonna be awesome. So let's plate up, guys. We're taking lamb to another level. Such a pleasure. A little yogurt. So good with that bulgur. And then just a little bit of feta cheese. Remember, this is a Greek-Italian love fest. And then the only thing to do now is just chop up some parsley. There you go, brothers and sisters. Let's portion a little bit up.